welcome to the show. I am delighted to introduce you to Renae Authment, who is a fellow podcaster here at Rogue Media. It is awesome to get to know you better, learn more about your podcast. But first of all, tell everybody who you are.
Yes, well, I'm Renae, and I have a daughter named Brooke, and we do the podcast together. We're a mother-daughter duo, and we were called about a year ago, and it just seems like God has led us to this stage we're at now. He kind of nudged us in this direction, and so what we did is we decided to do a podcast that is focused on middle-class people, because it's a really hard time right now that we all live in.
Yeah, it is.
And so it's good to share experiences for other people come in as guests and talk about their, testimonies and how God gets them through the tough times. And anyway, we've been podcasting. We had the launch on September 6th.
So I've been doing a few months.
Right. It took about 11 months to really get it off the ground and ready to start recording. And so we've had just a good journey with that.
Oh, it's Middle Class Matters.
Yes.
Is the name of the podcast. Of course, you find it here through Rogue Media.
Right.
Also on YouTube, or is it an audio?
No, it's an audio.
Okay.
Yes, it's an audio, and we podcast every week. And new release on Saturdays.
Oh, good. Okay, so you drop on Saturday. See, I've learned all the vernacular that goes along with podcasting.
Yes.
It's a whole different set of buzzwords than broadcasting is. So you kind of touched on it, but how did you land on the title, Middle Class Matters?
Actually, it was in a dream. It was in a dream.
I love it. Okay, all right. Tell me about your dream.
Okay, well, I was just dreaming, and I feel like God was leading me in this dream. And he specifically said, Middle Class Matters.
Well, there you go.
I know. And so I woke my husband up, and I said, I've got the name of it, because it was like I was getting things in dreams a little bit at a time. And at first I was like, I don't think I'm the right person for this podcast, because I've never done this before. But it's just doors have been opened and everything's been falling in place. So,
Well, I love that. So the kinds of stories, you say you do bring guests in.
Yes.
So how do you find your folks?
Well, so far, people have been reaching out to us.
Yeah.
At first, I had family or friends that I reached out to, and now they're starting to go onto our website and, voice an interest in coming on the show. So that helps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No question about that. It's you hear, well, everybody's got a podcast, and there are a lot of podcasts out there. But yeah, I think people have really latched on to the whole podcast thing and a way to connect with folks.
I do too. And what's unique about our podcast is that we're just talking about everything that matters to the middle class.
Yeah.
So, my daughter, she's the younger generation that she is representing, and I'm the older person that is representing the older generation. So we have a lot to talk about. And of course, our focuses are a little different. So we have all kinds of topics. Like for her main focus is children.
Yeah,
and her family.
In the throes of raising kids.
Yes. So we will have guests on that talk about, we've had a speech therapist on that talked about what all she can do to help children. And I always thought it was just saying your R's and T's and helping them learn how to speak.
If you've got a lisp or a stutter or something. Yeah,
right. But what we discovered is that they work with autistic children and teach them how to interact and play, and then we've had a chiropractor couple actually that has Redeemed Chiropractic, and they came on and they talked about what they can do with kids, and I had no idea. They help with tummy problems and
even hearing.
Yes,
I had a chiropractor on that was saying that's how she became a chiropractor, because one had helped her child who was having repeated ear infections.
Yes.
Who would have thought?
I know. There's so many things they could do, and it's not just like popping. We always think of chiropractors with popping backs.
Just crack your neck. Yeah.
And they don't do that with the kids at all. So anyway, she does. We do subjects that would or topics that would help, the younger generation, even debt consolidation and things like that.
Well, I mean, let's get to it. The middle class issues, as you say, the struggles, just making ends meet, and how many people are working 2 and sometimes 3 jobs, just to keep food on the table and a roof over the head.
Right.
But having more control over what you're spending money on and all that kind of stuff has a huge impact.
It does. Life is just tough right now. And it just helps to know that other people are facing the same kind of issues and to hear the stories. And of course, God gets us through that, and we can lean on him. And that's one thing about our podcast. We do bring in people that can say, hey, God's helped us through this and you can get through it too. So it's good to hear, stories like that. And then also for like the older generation like myself, we talk about things like, aging parents. When do you take the keys away from them? When is it time to go into a facility? What services are out there?
And speaking of which, it's so expensive.
Yes.
How to find something that's going to work within the family budget or with what insurances you have. So many things.
Right. And then we have general things. It would be for both the
that anybody could.
Yes, right. And we had this one gentleman, and I can't wait for the podcast to go live on that because, it is just really amazing. He is a bartender. But he is a recovered alcoholic.
Wow.
And I say that because, his story is just amazing. He was at death's door and in the hospital, not expected to even leave. And God touched him and changed him to the point where it doesn't even tempt him to be around alcohol. And that's his mission field now, is to be a bartender and to share his, what's God's done for him in that situation. So we have that. We've had so many cool things.
Maybe he's perfected the mocktail.
He said, I make some pretty good drinks, they tell me, but he says I never
they tell
taste
me.
them.
I'm not sampling them.
Right. But, we've had so many good guests. We have had, a gastric bypass survivor that had it was a near-death, out-of-body experience.
Really?
And that was amazing. We had this one lady that she came on and she shared her story about her daughter with autism and the journey that she had, discovery, and how hard that was and how physicians and healthcare providers weren't listening to them. And it's just a heartfelt story that I know will touch other people that are going through that similar situation.
So how do you choose what you're going to focus on from one week to the next? Do you alternate? How far out are you planning your guests and so forth?
Right now we have them planned through December. Now she and I, Brooke and I are both nurse educators. We're real life middle class. We work, we have real jobs. She is a nurse and a nurse educator, and she has children and a family. And then I'm a nurse educator, and we both have those jobs. So we take advantage of days like we had a fall break just this couple of weeks ago. And so we did a lot of recordings on those 2 days we were off. So we do recordings in the summer. Christmas break, we plan to do more. And then we do them here and there, but we try to get a lot, recorded where we can have those ready to go. We don't want to miss that week,
No, I know. Trust me, I know.
Right.
What are some of the common concerns, though, and challenges you're hearing as you research for guests to come in? And are there certain themes that just keep popping up?
Yes, there are. The main thing is I don't think people feel like they're heard, and they feel like they're all alone in what they're going through. And I find that most people are believers that we speak to, but they still feel alone, and they feel like God's not listening. And so what is really good is the guests who are coming on, they're sharing their story and they're telling, hey, we've gotten through this and we've leaned on God, and it was on God's time. We wanted it to be a little bit faster, but it all came out, just good, and just the encouragement in that. And like I say, I can see the difference between the older generation and the younger. And there is, like I say, the younger is more focused on the family, and they have concerns about anything from health care to finances, a lot of debt, how do we get
credit cards just make it so easy. And before you know it, you got $17,000
right.
that you're paying interest on.
Right. So there's just, just a common theme out there. We're all trying to make ends meet, and we're all working and trying to juggle careers, family, finances. It's just a lot to it.
Time management is a very big thing for folks.
And another thing that I'm having requests on, and I haven't found a guest, so if you're listening and you know someone, we have like people that want to know more about like teenagers. I've had several requests to get a teenage girl on our podcast to share their experiences growing up in these days with social media, because it's so and they say that maybe their daughters or their granddaughters or their nieces have been they feel like they are bullied, or they feel like they're left out of certain things that they feel like they should be a part of, and it hurts their feelings.
Sure.
And so
and then social media on top of all that, they're comparing themselves to other people and stuff that we didn't have to deal with.
Not at all up. So they've requested that maybe we get a teenager.
I think that's a brilliant idea. Yeah.
And so we'd love to have someone that has a strong faith, come on and talk about how they get through or deal with all of that at school. We've got the preteens coming up, and moms wanting support of that. And I've even had one mom that said that had boys, and said that she would really like some advice or some, guidance and how to raise boys, to be respectable and,
but manly.
Yes, manly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. A lot more I want to talk to you about, and I want to know more about your background and everything. I mean, I'm learning that you're a health educator.
Yes.
And a nurse. So stay with us. When we come back, we will talk some more with Renae. But want to tell you that today's show is brought to you by Fox & Co. Bakery, where we bake foxy things. You stay with us. A big thank you to our sponsor, Fox & Co. Bakery. Check them out for delicious baked goods and your catering needs.
What about the red flags? What kind of red flags were you seeing?
Well, first of all, we were really young, so we were right at that drinking age, where, we like to go out and have fun and stuff. And he drank a lot more than I did. Like, he drank on the regular every single day. And it took me years to realize that he is an alcoholic and he does have a problem with that. I feel like I was just really young and naive, and I always wanted to see the best in people. So, even when I would have people kind of point things out to me, I was in denial.
Right.
Did
you try to control you? Because a lot of people say they always try to control the ones that were abusive.
Yes. It started out like when we were dating. We would go do things, and then I would be tired and I would be ready to leave where we were, because he would take me around all of his friends or go home or whatever. And I ended up just being stuck with him for hours and hours longer all the time. And sometimes at people's homes that I wasn't comfortable around, where there was stuff going on that I wasn't comfortable with. And that was one of the first red flags, was that he was not concerned about my time.
it's football season, and we can create your outdoor tailgating spaces that is actually a part of your home. Bifold doors that tie in the inside and the outside, and you can gain anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000 square feet living space, all while taking in the big game, poolside. Call us at Gather & Co. Kitchen and Bath, where we can create your unique tailgating space.
You're walking on the street, you look around, 1 in 3 of you women have been abused. So there's a lot of healing that needs to be done there. Tell me something. When you were in this situation, you did, talk to your mother-in-law, but did you talk to friends or anybody, or did you keep it inside and quiet?
All of my friends that were close to me knew what was going on, and so did my family. My family actually lived in fear that he was going to kill me, because sometimes he got exceptionally violent, and he would strangle me and suffocate me, smother me with pillows, knock the wind out of me, things of that nature. And they knew that this was going on. So my friends were very supportive. And I've lived with friends' parents before and had people try to give me all kinds of help to get out. And it takes like an average of 7 times for someone to leave their abuser. I kept going back. His friends, I tried to reach out to them, and I learned a lot about those kind of dynamics too, especially with men. Men will tend to overlook those things about their friends. And even though they knew it was going on, he was still able to convince his friends that I was starting these things, that I was just being crazy, or he was, used the B word with me a lot. He would just talk really horribly about me, and basically he would try to frame me in other people's minds as I'm the problem.
You're the one, right?
Yes, and he would tell people I was abusing him, and I was actually terrified of this man when he was angry.
Now,
serving Central Texas since 1889, TFNB Your Bank for Life takes pride in being more than a bank. TFNB, we remain committed to these principles. If you value them too, come join us. TFNB, your bank for life.
Because I grew up going to the doctor when something was wrong. And so I just kind of shrugged it off because they'd given me a medicine and I wound up being allergic to it. And then, they never said, well, you need to come back in X amount of time or whatever, and never called to remind me because I forget as soon as I walk out the door. And so, I went on about life, and I wound up getting engaged like 2 weeks after that. And then, had a year-long engagement. And then about 2 weeks after we got back from our honeymoon, I had just went back to work at my second job during the summer. And I was real tired driving home, like almost falling asleep. I'm like, well, I'm just tired because I went back to work. Well, the next day, I was off, and I was driving my son to somewhere, and I was getting real sleepy. I'm like, this isn't going to work. So I pulled out that lab paper, that had been in the glove box for 6 months that my doctor wanted.
Right.
And I went and did the labs, and my, PCP was like, you need to go to the kidney doctor like yesterday.
Wow.
And so I went, and the kidney doctor was like, you're going to have dialysis.
Did you know before you had any kind of kidney issues?
No, ma'am. I mean, I had kidney infections, as a kid. And then when I was 19, I was hospitalized for a week with a kidney infection. But I never thought anything of.
Hey Waco, meet your new favorite email. It's called the Waco Buzz, the local newsletter that skips crime and chaos and gets straight to the good stuff. New restaurants, hidden gems, weekend events, and stories that make you proud to call Waco home. It's quick, free, and written by people who love Waco as much as you do. Join thousands of neighbors who already start their mornings with the Waco Buzz at thewacobuzz.com.
And we are back with Renae Authment, who, along with her daughter, does Middle Class Matters podcast. You can get it here through Rogue Media Network. And it's a delight to get to visit with you and hear about what you're doing on your podcast. Are there middle class myths that you think people are sort of fallen to?
I don't know of any really myths that have been brought to our attention, but just that they've, more people feel alone out there, you know, not really the myths that we've come across, but.
Well, maybe just, what does classify as middle class? I mean, what would you call like the income range? Because some people consider themselves middle class and they're making $175,000 a year. I wouldn't call that middle class necessarily, but is it?
It really is.
It is, okay.
There's a lower middle class, there's a middle class, and an upper middle class.
There you go.
So there's a huge, range in there that the middle class can be in. Yeah.
Okay. So we've talked about some of the challenges that you're hearing from folks, but how do you balance, though, these heavier topics like economic pressures that people are dealing with lighter, more hopeful conversations?
Yeah. Well, I think what we do is we just validate the person. If we know that our listeners are having issues with credit card debt, we validate them and say, we know what that feels like.
Rather than scolding, how could you let yourself
get
so
we're not there to judge. We're not there to scold. We're there to support and to just share others' experiences. Because, especially at my age, I've lived life. I've been through the hard times. I've had credit card debt. I made it through it, But I think that it's good to have the balance between a younger representative like my daughter and then me as an older, because we see things a little differently. At the time you're in it, when you're younger, you think that, you don't see how you're going to get out of that, And then as an older perspective, it was hard. We made it through, and now we survived, and we can, give you support. So our guests that we invite on, they, provide that guidance and tell, God helped us through this, and He can help you do it too.
So you pre-vet folks, they're going to be believers that you have on your show.
Yes, we do. We ask that up front. We'll say, how did God help you through this? Or how was your faith, and I have not had one guest yet that didn't say, God leads us and gets us through the hard times. And if it wouldn't have been for Him, I wouldn't be where I'm at.
Yeah. And the family of believers too. I really don't know how folks get through like a death in the family or whatever without a circle of friends to come around. And you mentioned the loneliness, and I think we do have a real crisis of loneliness and separateness today, and it's hard really to know why. I mean, do you have any theories?
I just think that the way we see society, the acting of how people act in life now, we're not respectful to each other, and it's like all about me kind of world for some reason.
You're right.
And I remember, even 20 years ago, we were a little bit more supportive to each other. And then we have social media that comes in. And then I think it's changed a lot. And so
I would agree. Has hosting Middle Class Matters changed the way you think about your own life or priorities? You have?
It has. It really has. I'm looking at it a lot different. I'm thinking, I'm not going to say poor me anymore. I've, of course, gone through the valleys myself, but we've just had so many incredible people on there. I just thank God every morning when I wake up. And at first when God was calling us to do this podcast, I was like Moses. Well, I have this country accent. I don't think I can do this. And I had all these excuses, but now it's just like I thank Him for this opportunity and this journey, and my daughter and I are having so much fun with it, and we're meeting such amazing people, And we love every minute of it.
Yeah, when you first said about coming to the conclusion you were going to say yes to the podcast, I immediately thought of Moses and Aaron, and here you bring it up. So is there a conversation that's really kind of stuck with you with a guest? I know it's...
Oh, absolutely. I have many, but there's one that still gives me chill bumps to this day.
Uh-huh.
And God actually told me that this podcast would open the eyes of non-believers. And I think it does.
Good.
We have a hospice nurse, and he's been in hospice for, 13, 14 years. Mm-hmm. And he came on the show, and he gave his experiences of what he's seen as a hospice nurse. And he tells the difference between the death of believers and the death of non-believers. Wow. And it gives you chill bumps.
Yeah, so, I can only imagine.
Oh, yeah.
You're telling me.
So I've asked a lot of people to watch it, and even some of our students have watched it, or not watched it, listened to it, and they give me feedback, and they just say they loved that. Because, our nursing students who are young in nursing, they are learning about death and dying, and most of them are so young they don't even think about death right now.
Well, and they've probably never been around someone who's gone through that. Yeah.
Yes, and so they have listened to the podcast, and they tell me that it's really changed their perspective too.
Yeah.
So so make sure you go to any platform and listen to that one, because I love that one. But we've had several. That
is there a way to find that particular one, or is it called Death and Dying, or what?
Yeah,
you have them labeled.
Yes, yes, I do, and I think it's called The Spiritual Side of Death.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's amazing. It really is.
Yeah. So what have you learned about resilience, though, and creativity when it comes to middle-class challenges?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I know that it takes a village. It really does. You really need support in life. So I think resilience comes from faith in God and support of people that have been through those things, and then also your family and friends. And there's a lot of hurting people out there, and there's a lot of regret in life that I see. And I just think that this podcast not only helps other people who listen to the guest, but I've had guests that tell me that they feel so good after they do it because they've told their story, and it's like a purging.
Yeah, it's sort of therapeutic.
Very therapeutic. And they feel like they're finally getting out where somebody would listen. Like, for instance, our gastric bypass person, our guest, that she had that near-death experience. She had a very, very tough time. She never told many people at all about that near-death experience because she didn't think people would believe her.
Yeah, that she was crazy or something.
Yes. So we've had that. We've had several, tell me, I never thought I would, share this, but they feel so good about it. And what I do is I say, come on and tell your story. We don't have to use your last name.
Right. You can be as anonymous as you want to be.
Yes, right. And it's all audio, so they feel more comfortable sharing their experiences, and it just helps on both sides.
Well, and you're very easy to talk to. I can see how it'd be, So let's talk a little bit about your background. Where are you from? Where were you born? Where'd you go to school? Tell me.
Well, I grew up in Valley Mills. And I'm a Valley girl, and that's been way a long time ago.
Yeah.
But, and I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for so long, 42 or 42 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so who do you work for? I mean, is it a hospital or what?
No, I teach at a university now. So I've given up the hospital stuff.
Okay.
But, I teach at a university, and I'm not sure if I can really tell the name of the university since some of their policies say that.
Oh, HIPAA stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
but
anyway, that's okay.
Yeah, but I teach at a university, and I teach nursing students, and I've taught for about 16 years. And then But
prior to that, you were a practicing nurse?
Yes.
So.
I've been in healthcare a long time, so I've worked in the emergency room.
Okay. So I want to know what kind of nursing did you do?
And did labor and delivery
Oh, how
with
fun.
babies.
That's gotta
and
be
I
fun.
did home health some. I did hospice just a little bit, but that just wasn't my thing. I just,
That's got to be a calling, don't
it
you
has
think?
to be a calling. Yes. I got in there and, I'm like, let's all live. I didn't want to be on that side, but those people are called. They're special nurses. And then I have a doctorate in nursing. And then my daughter, Brooke, she has her doctorate in nursing as well. And she teaches, and she also, and that's where she is today, or she'd be with us. She's teaching a clinical group at the Baylor Scott and White here.
Okay.
She's over there with her students. So anyway, she has her doctorate, and she does also a little bit in the emergency room. Then she has 3 children, and she has a family, and oh my goodness, she's just so busy, much more busy than I am. But
Yeah. So did you grow up in the church, or did you have a special coming to the Lord experience, or what?
I grew up and I called myself a cradle Christian, but I do remember a distinct time when I was 10 years old and we had a reunion, or a revival, at church. And I, felt God calling me at that time. Mm-hmm. So that was my moment. And I have never really given him the time that I should have all these years. I would always say, it's going to be another day, and then I can devote my time to reading the, Bible and all of that.
I know.
Yeah, and then that's part of life too. Yeah. And so now I'm like, wow, he's definitely working in this and calling me. I haven't had too many experiences where he has specifically, or I knew that he spoke to me. I had 2 actually in my lifetime until this one.
When you got the name of your podcast in a dream.
Oh, everything. Yeah. He would wake me up at night in the dreams, just one after another after another. Yeah. And it might not be every single night, but like when it would, I would wake up and I would say, is this really true? Because, at first you kind of doubt, he's really... Maybe
right, you
not.
Have to test. You have to test what you're hearing.
And so after a while, and it just kept on, and it would just be like chapters. And I would wake up. I started waking my husband saying, "Guess what God just told me?" And I would tell him, So I am excited about that, because that is a really neat thing when you feel like there's so many desert time. You think, where are you, Lord? And so when he truly is calling you and speaking to you, you get a little excited about that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if you could summarize your podcast in one line, what would that be?
Real talk, real life, real solutions, keeping the faith of God.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Renae, you are just a delight. And
thank you.
I'm checking out Middle Class Matters, especially
do.
the one, because I'm always fascinated with people who have the near-death experiences, because they've documented that folks have literally died,
yes,
and then come back and they saw something.
Yes.
Something happened after.
Exactly. And
after that last breath.
We just don't listen as much as we should do to people in their death, in the last stages of death as well.
Right.
I think if you think about it, you just die once. Mm-hmm. And that time is so profound. You need to listen to people and what they're saying.
I agree.
And this really got me started on getting that podcast from the hospice nurse. Mm-hmm. Because when I teach my nursing students about death and dying, what we're supposed to say is, in the textbook, it says that near the end of life that people might see or feel like they see their loved ones. They hallucinate. I'm sorry, not everybody's going to hallucinate the same thing, right?
It's kind of a universal thing. That happens.
Right. It's not hallucinating. They really do. That's, I think, the real thin veil. Been around a lot of people who, were in the death process, and they see their loved ones.
Yeah.
They do. So that's when we started with the hospice nurse, and I hope you listen to that one too, because that's a great one.
Well, and that is the hope we have.
Yes.
For that life to come, for sure. This is, we're only passing through, as
that's
they say.
Right.
This
we
life.
are.
But I'm so glad you passed through my life,
thank
because
you.
I'm just delighted that we got a chance to connect.
Me too.
And let everybody know about Middle Class Matters on this, the Ann Harder Show. Thank you so much, Renae.
You're welcome.
Stay with us. There is more of the show ahead.
Bubble wasn't here. I don't know what people would be doing, like making PowerPoints or something. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
This is what $500,000 in a duffel bag looks like. Actually not real. That's because it's actually prop money. It looks realistic from a distance, but up close you can see it says for motion picture purposes. Visit propmoney.com today to get your money seen or money shot right with Prop Money Inc.
Studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. us.muc-off.com.
MCC is here to help make the holiday cooking easier and healthier with the Holiday Instapot Classic happening tomorrow, November 20th, and is going to teach you how to make the best of your electric pressure cooker. In this festive workshop, you'll learn how to use the Instant Pot to prepare quick, nutritious meals that are perfect for holiday gatherings. You can learn how to use all of the manual settings, the preset functions, all to create warm, delicious dishes that your whole family will love. Also, local nonprofit Feed My Sheep is seeking help to feed our community this Thanksgiving. They are accepting frozen turkey donations through this Friday. The lengthy government shutdown has left many Central Texans without access to their SNAP benefits, so the number of people that Feed My Sheep is serving is going up, while the cost of their business is also going up. So you can sign up to bring cooked turkeys on Thanksgiving, or you can just drop by some canned vegetables with Feed My Sheep. Be sure to check it out on their website. I'm Elizabeth Riley with your Act Locally Waco News, and I will see you later.
Natural Cycles identifies your fertile window by analyzing changes in your temperature. Just measure in the morning, add your temperature into the app, then learn which days you can and cannot get pregnant. It's that easy. Learn more at naturalcycles.com.
It's the Restore Clarity Focus Patch, my little secret weapon for staying sharp, focused, and on task. Each box comes with simple instructions inside, so you always know exactly how to apply it. Each patch lasts for 3 days. I love that I can wear it all day.
BadCreditLoans.com is a pioneering service provider that has carved a reputation in the financial industry. Simple, fast, and reliable loan application process. And its commitment to responsible borrowing makes it a trusted partner in the journey towards financial stability.
Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more.
Mama's on her mushrooms with moss in her hair. Foxes and felines make beelines to stare at her dress, such a mess, every tatter and tear. Twirling then in a spin, drunk and dancing again, but beware. Has the tongue of a sailor that's obscene as sin. She filleted with a blade made of obsidian, like her eyes black as flies from the jar that piled in, staring blank through the brine, proper pickled on shine, fine you win. We'll go say our hellos, who knows, maybe she's nice. Faulty rumor consumers say madmen and mice lay their schemes, but it seems they should have thought twice. They're consumed, rather doomed, by this pretty perfumed vixen vice. Oh, say you're so handsome, a ransom you'd fetch from my grip. Take a sip. Should you fall, I will catch you while wandering down my dark holler. You fell in my home, I will tend your wounds well. For there's gators and gulls that drag fools to their end. Be it rough, even with enough sheets to the wind, you'll be here for the pain. Poor thing, your head's cut, let me sew it shut. See, I'd welcome the company, come with me, my dear. There's no telling nor spelling the words that you'll hear should I leave you outside. Your hide they may seek, for their sinners and serpents and saints on the banks of this creek.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. That's internxt.com today. Unlock a world of convenience with Mullybox, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your taste. Mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com.
So all you have to do is tap your Popple to the back of someone's phone, like that, and they instantly get your social media and contact info right on their screen. They don't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. So get your Popple today and start impressing everyone you meet. Make it pop.
Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Whether it's sports, theater, or concert, for the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. Ticket Liquidator. Welcome to Kit Bag, the ultimate destination for football fans. Whether you're cheering for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, or any other top club, for true football passion, think Kit Bag. Visit kitbag.com today. That's KITBAG.com, Kit Bag. Since 2014, we've been creating vegan, clean, and affordable skincare with proven actives and potent botanicals designed to treat your ever-changing skin. Celebrate our first decade of transformation today at facetheory.com/US-EN. Face Theory.
Tasmanian spring water range from Sand and Sky. This range is really good for dry and dehydrated skin like myself, packed with 2 types of hyaluronic acid, fermented sea kelp to reduce redness, and my skin feels so dewy and so hydrated.
Finding a sleep sack that my baby likes has been a struggle.
The sleep sack from Joy is a major upgrade.
It is all natural eucalyptus, which is breathable and hypoallergenic.
Maybe we could beat the sun, hun. I don't suppose you maybe wanna make a run out of Santa Rosa. Take it down to Abilene, Austin, or Bandera, somewhere that you never seen. Donde usted quiera. Rather, if you wanna stay me, someday I see ya. Shoulda make it all the way through Comancheria, reading letters from my kin thieving on the dry sea. If you're staying here, well then I turn to prairie piracy. Cousin, load your scattergun, tighten up your cinch, then come before the cattle run. Like Lafitte the Frenchman, we'll be thieving on the herds, working up to Dodge, when by a blunderbuss of birds, feast upon the dead men. I was winding through the cedar breaks up upon the grassy arrowheads of Alabates, falling all around me, fooled the feathers pretty soon. Rode right into High Town, found my crew at the saloon, so we tore the night down. Met a puncher with a jaw flapping from his rod gut, told us where to find them all. Should have kept his mouth shut, came upon him moving slow, strung out like a 5-wire garden, all our cattle so rifles rang like cannon fire. Up all the cattle, I hummed a little shanty, dead men from the battle I bleeding all around me. Oh, but one he came alive, tried to pull his gun clear, dueling he did not survive with a prairie puncher privateer.
What if you could clean clean? With bio-based formulas and deep cleaning enzymes. No dyes, phthalates, or mystery ingredients. Just powerful pods for your dishes and laundry. Now you can, with drops made clean, made to clean.
It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
If your home's feeling a bit dated or you're dreaming of that beautiful outdoor oasis, I have got the team for you. Gather & Co., the family-owned remodeling pros right here in Greater Waco since 1998. Led by the Falconberry family, they specialize in stunning kitchen and bathroom makeovers. Think custom walk-in showers, sleek cabinetry, and aging-in-place upgrades for easy living. They also nail outdoor spaces with pergolas, patio covers, sunrooms, and screen rooms that turn your backyard into a year-round retreat. What sets them apart? Personalized designs, top-notch craftsmanship, and a hassle-free process for free in-home consultations to spot-on completion, plus financing options to make it simple. Customers love them, raving about the friendly crew and attention to every detail. Ready to gather in your dream home? Call Gather & Co. today, 254-759-1147 for a no-obligation quote.
But boy, it looked effortless.
Man, watch this.
Layups, floaters, threes. He was like an unsolvable equation.
I was born like this.
His resilience, his strength, his belief, adversity never stood a chance.
Know your power.
We offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at bizchair.com to transform your business.
Experience with the Bosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again.
BosleyMD.com.
At Tusain's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Visit Tusains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com. Launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. That's ULIKE.com. You like.
I feel like I'll be giving life to downtown McGregor.
Standing tall since 1912, the Texas Theater sits right in the heart of our community as the longest standing motion picture theater in the state. Although the theater hasn't been used for decades, that could soon change as neighbors have come together to launch a campaign to restore this historic landmark.
And we're just hoping that together we can make it happen.
I spoke to Renae Flores, a longtime McGregor resident and Texas Theater board member.
One of the reasons why I got involved with the board is because for many years I've never seen this open. However, I would love to see it be open for my daughter and my daughter's children and for generations here in this community.
Last month, the city of McGregor told me that 30% of the buildings on Main Street are currently vacant. But over the last year, I've reported to you on how the center of the community has continued growing with the addition of new local businesses like the old-fashioned meat market and the restoration of the First National Bank. And several major companies like Knauf, EFC Gases, and SpaceX continue to bring hundreds of more jobs for our neighbors. Although time has taken its toll and there are cracks, holes, and rust, efforts are already underway to bring this historic landmark back to life.
We've been restoring some of the seats that we have for the movie theater. It's one of our first steps in seeing the Texas come back to life.
Flores believing it's just another way to contribute to the growth and development of our community.
There's a lot of work that needs to be done, but it doesn't mean that it's impossible.
Living on the road, my friends, is gonna keep you free and clean. But now you wear your skin like iron, your breath's as hard as kerosene. You weren't your mama's only son, but her favorite one, it seems. She began to cry when you said goodbye and sank into your dreams. Pancho was a bandit, boys. His horse was fast as polished steel. He wore his gun outside his pants for all the honest world to feel. Pancho met his match, you know, on the deserts down in Mexico, and nobody heard his dying word. But that's the way it goes. And all the federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him slip away out of kindness, I suppose. Lefty, he can't sing the blues all night long like he used to. And dusted Pancho bit down south ended up in Lefty's mouth. The day they laid poor Pancho low, Lefty split for Ohio, where he got the bread to go. There ain't nobody knows. And all the federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him slip away out of kindness, I suppose. Poets tell how Pancho fell, and Lefty's living in cheap hotels. Desert's quiet, Cleveland's cold, so the story ends are told. Pancho needs your prayers, it's true, but save a few for Lefty too. He only did what he had to do, and now he's growing old. And all the federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him slip away out of kindness, I suppose. A few great federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him go so long out of kindness, I suppose.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NordVPN.com.
A journey into new thoughts, new cultures, new adventures. So what are you waiting for? Start your journey with Babbel now. Go to babbel.com or download the app.
It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at fullwellfertility.com.